Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining on time. Sorry for delay of 1 minute. I was waiting for others to join. You have already seen this agenda. If not, please just send me an email to this email address that you see at the bottom, and I will add you to that group. All right. Again, guys, today's session is very important. Try to be attentive as you can, and please ask as many questions as you can. I don't mind being interrupted. Please interrupt as often and as much as you can. All right, let's start. Disclaimer, I think you know this. Ah, so let's talk about something from the previous sessions, okay? So I eat pizza, I ate pizza. If I want to say I eat pizza, how do I say this in present tense, guys? How do I say I eat pizza?
Ich esse Pizza.
Okay, how do I say that in past tense using preteritum
Ich aß Pizza.
and then participe zwei?
Ich habe Pizza.
Yeah,
Ich habe Pizza äh, gegessen.
correct. So, it depending on the city, whenever E is at or the alphabet A in German is at the end of a word, some people say habe, some people say habe. It depends where you live. Just observe carefully or listen carefully how they are saying it and just use that. Where I live in our region, we say a habe. But I know some people, they will, for example, if I have to say I see, I will say ich sehe. But I know, I think somewhere in some cities in Germany, they will say sehe, habe, esse, something like that, but that is obvious. So how do I say these things in okay, so how do I say this in passive voice? Ich esse pizza, like, pizza is being eaten or pizza gets eaten. How do I say it? I know it's a simple answer, but someone has to give the answer. How do I say the same thing in passive? Come on, guys, we had this just last session. Really, no one knows? Okay, Akshay. Okay. mm, Chandu.
No, I don't.
Really? Okay.
Uh, Pizza weird. The thing is, I forgot the preposition. Von mir oder beim von mir gegessen oder
Phone
ich
me, yeah.
mir mich gegessen.
No, no,
Something
no.
like
When you
that.
use phone, it has to be dative. Okay, when you use phone,
Von mir gegessen.
phone me again. How do I say the same thing in like in past tense? There are two options: right? Preteritum and participle. So let's go with preteritum. How do I say this? Come on, we did this in last session, guys. If you don't
Mm,
answer this question, I am
I
not
don't
very
remember
happy.
exactly.
Come on. Anyone else?
War.
Hmm. Okay.
Pizza war
No.
von mir.
No. Okay, just one feedback, guys. So you don't know this because you did not revise. I mean, if you did not revise, I mean, of course, I'm not happy. But if it is something the way I taught, please let me know. Otherwise, I have to. So if I don't mind criticism. If there is something in the way I taught, please let me know. If you have any feedback, the why you don't remember, if I'm the reason, please let me know. Okay. Then if you are the reason,
No, it's fine. It's just we didn't revise. Sorry about
okay.
that.
No, no, no problem.
So it will be
Yeah.
ish. So it will be the past tense of the word and
Yeah. What
for
is
the
past tense of
pizza.
werden?
Uh, it's wooden, but I'm not sure for the third person. So
If
pizza wood,
so, pizza
pizza
wood, I guess.
wood von mir gegessen.
Wood or wood.
Wood.
Okay. Thank you for being honest. What guys, the recordings are there. Just watch them when you are. I know the recordings are like. I know we are now used to watching this fancy, like uh, like really good videos on Instagram and YouTube. I know the recordings are very boring, but uh, what will happen is that you will learn this, and after this, maybe after 3 months, 4 months, if you join, like if you're doing something and you realize, okay, my German is not good enough, and then you will join some German class where they will make you pay a lot. I mean, I know people who take like 45 euros for each session, just for one session, and they don't even teach for 1 hour, they teach like 45 minutes. Of course you can get like some people from South Asia teach it, for, but even they will take around at least 15 euros per hour, or if you go to any institute they will take 600 euros for one batch. So I don't want you to lose money there. So right now, just do it. So instead of learning German after 6 months, just learn it right now. Everything is there. Uh, Try to take as much. Again, this is not a rant. I'm trying to explain you like why you should revise. It's good use of your time. So instead of wasting your time and money in the future, just make good use of your time right now. I know some of you are busy. I understand that. Even I am, but I have to say this. Okay, Pizza wurde gegessen. uh, I think no one will answer, so I'll just give you the answer, right? So pizza is gegessen worden. Also, how do you remember this? So presents, just remember subject, werden, conjugate it for the given subject, and use participe zwei of the actual verb. Okay. So if it was, let's say, snacks, I eat snacks, so snacks is plural, then it will be snacks werden gegessen. Snacks wurden gegessen. Okay. Why do you need this? Uh, from my experience in living in Germany, whenever you are talking about something which someone else did, I mean, from my experience, people are really polite. So they will never say that, he did that, she did that. They will always say in passive voice. For example, even, if a colleague did something, let's say you're in a meeting and there is some problem in the code or in the presentation, and the question is asked, who did this? People will not name names. They will just say, yeah, das wurde gemacht. They will not say like he did that, er hat das gemacht. They will always speak in passive voice. It's also, it's very important. Learn this passive voice. Again, this is my experience of German culture. It's not the fact. This is just my observation. Präteritum, subject, wurden, participe zwei. So presence, präteritum, just werden, wurden. Okay. Perfect, it's even more simpler, because presence, präteritum, you will have to use this conjugation of werden, learn that like, and but perfect, it's even more simple because all you already know participe zwei of all the verbs that are important for you. You just use worden at the end, it does not change. And sein you already know. So here are the tables, werden, wurden. So the easiest one is participe zwei. Okay, now this one, right? So you did that, but we did not talk about modal verbs, right? If I want to say I can eat pizza, ich kann Pizza essen. And if you want to say this in passive voice, Pizza kann gegessen werden. You know, Pizza kann gegessen werden. And I think it's very obvious. So uh, all that happened is that, for example, you have Pizza with gegessen, right? So you were conjugating werden, but now you are using modal verb. So even werden will not be conjugated. The werden goes to the position, last position, and you conjugate the modal verb. Instead of pizza, it can be, for example, you're in a client meeting and the client says, can we do this? And you don't want to say that I will do it or she will do it, he will do it. You just say, yeah, it can be done. Das kann. How do you say it can be done? How do you say it can be done, guys? What is the verb for do? Wrong answers are fine as long as you're giving. I will say
Machen.
es kann werden. And what will I write over here instead of gegessen?
Marken.
But participe zwei of machen.
Gemacht.
Right. So es kann gemacht werden. This is why it says this is very important.
Gemacht.
Yeah, gemacht is correct. So es kann gemacht werden. Okay. Uh, this is why passive voice is very important. Okay. Uh, okay, that is fine. This is what now we have not completely covered passive voice, but we have covered passive voice. There is one more verb, lassen. I think we will learn that I think in the next session. Okay, now let's continue. So today, so articles, pronouns. Articles. For example, there die, das, ein, einer, kein, keiner, mein, meiner. You know all this, right? Dein, sein, ihr. Pronouns. Ich, mich. Ich in nominative, mich in akkusativ, die, mir in dativ. Then du in blah blah, right? But today, what you will learn to use articles. So articles, for example, there die, das, ein, einer. You will learn to use them as pronouns. Again, so articles, pronouns. But today you will learn articles which can be used as pronouns. How do you need, why do you need this? You need it. We'll understand that why do you need it. But let's start with, so this is A1 level stuff. But before we, before I, you learn to use articles as pronouns, you should know what are pronouns and what are articles. So that has to be clear. Again, please answer the questions. It will be appreciated if all the answers are right because you should already know it. Even if they are not right, try to answer as much as you can. So again, before you learn to use article viotas or articles as pronouns, let us do a quick recap of all the articles and all the pronouns that you should know. Again, this is B1, but this what you are doing right now is so this stuff is from A1. You should know this. All right, please fill this column for me, guys. Nominative. So it is ish, and then how do I say you singular informal? No one knows this.
Ish. Uh,
Ish.
do.
Ish here do.
Do.
Yeah,
Okay. Do.
yeah. Continue.
Via.
Yeah,
Air.
yeah.
Z. S. Z. Z.
No, no, check
Z.
informal.
Mm.
Informal, plural, informal. How do I, let's say if I'm referring to all of you, what pronoun I can use for you? Anyone wants to help her? Sorry?
Plural in
Ear.
Ia and they, come on, they.
Ia.
No, Ia was already here, right?
Z.
Z, small, capital.
Z.
Z with capital S.
No, this is small. This one is capital. Yeah,
They it's small and
yeah.
you
Okay, then I understood you. Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
So they is small, right? Again, guys, this is very basic stuff. Know this. If you don't know it, there is nothing wrong in attending A1 sessions again. All the recordings are there. Just watch the recordings. There is nothing wrong. You can watch someone else's recording, but if you attend B1, you should know all these things. Okay, just being completely honest with you. So here it is mich, tisch, uns, ihn, sie, es, euch, sie. Please give me the table column for dative.
Mia.
Mia,
Dear.
dear.
Please go ahead.
Okay, Mia, dear. Uns, iem, iem, im.
No, what is z
Auch,
in dative? Z in dative. So how do I say, how is she doing?
Ear.
Ear.
ihr,
We gets ear. So im,
ihr.
ear, im. Euch, here it is.
Euch,
Euch, here.
it stays euch.
Yeah.
Ihnen, and ihnen again.
The small capital again. This is
Ihnen
all.
with small I and Ihnen with capital I.
Yeah, yeah. So again, when you say again, this is important for the exam also. Also, when you are writing emails, right? If you're, for example, your boss asks you like, "How was the meeting with the client?" And if you are describing, uh, and if you are using they in dative, and if you write capital, your boss will know because because German is not your first language, but you should know this. This is A1 level stuff. Again, not trying to demotivate you, trying to just push you in the right direction. All right, let's start with definite articles, guys. Bestimmte article. Fill this column for me. Fill this row for me, please. Go ahead, Akshay. Don't wait for others to answer.
Der,
Mm.
die,
Mm.
das, die, akkusativ, then, die, das,
Just 1 second, okay?
die,
This is how I heard you said then. It is not
dativ,
then. It is then. Okay, a then. Okay?
them, there, them, they, okay. Then, there, then, they, them, and then. then genitive, this, there, this, there.
Thank you very much. So you should know all of this. Please, let's see. Hold on, Akshay, for a second. If someone else wants to answer, I see Mona. I hope it is Manoj. You want to answer this? Fill this table for unbestimmte article. Some like a indefinite article. All right, Manoj, asking you one more time. You don't have to answer, but if you answer, it'll be nice. Manoj doesn't want to answer. If I can. Okay, go ahead, Akshay, if you don't mind answering.
So, for which we have to answer here?
Indefinite articles. Unbestimmte article. Ein.
Like
Ein, eine, ein. Then plural, it's not applicable.
Correct.
Then einen, eine, ein, einem, einer, einem, eines, einer, eines.
Right. So if you I think Akshay is smart enough to understand, he's smart enough to understand the ending, right? So when you go all of us know nominative ones, right? There, the, das, the, ein, and he also Akshay also knows that when you go from nominative to accusative, only masculine changes, the others remain the same, and even masculine ends up sounding like n, right? And in dative, masculine neutrum sound like m, feminine sounds like air, and he's also smart enough to understand that in plural, so don't make this mistake that masculine neutrum same, that means feminine plural will be the same. No, feminine is there, plural is then. And in genitive, he knows that, or we all know that masculine neutrum same, feminine plural same. Okay, in dative, masculine neutrum same, but feminine plural not same. So m air mn, s air s air. I think it was Raga, right, who was answering. Do you give me? Can you give me this table for negations article, negative article like kind?
Mm. Keine, accusative, keinen, keine, keine, dative, keinen, keiner, keinem, keinen, genitive, keines, keiner, keines, keiner.
Okay. So again, n, m. So nominative accusative only masculine changes, and dative m, air, n, s, air, air. I think it's obvious. Now, what is more important? This, you should know all of these things. Like you should pass the 4 a.m. test. When I throw, I mean, I don't need to repeat that. I know you what I mean by 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. test. So let's talk about this. If I have to say, so this is obvious. If I talk about possessive article, so masculine nominative will be mine, thine, unser. If I have to say laptop, right? And if I consider a laptop to be masculine, because in Leo they say their or das laptop, let's go with their. So mine laptop, thine laptop, unser laptop, sein laptop, ihr laptop, sein laptop, euer laptop, ihr laptop. But it can be, so it will be mine only when the noun is masculine, and it is in nominative case. But if the it is accusative case, it will be mine n, mine n, nylon, and dative will be mine m, genitive will be minus. So please, this table is obvious. Just have a look at it. So n, m, I think it is obvious. Okay. The reason I'm focusing on this, I have asked you to watch movies, your favorite movies again in German, not something new, something that you already know without subtitles. And you will hear all of these things, ms. And you should click in your head, yeah, it is dative, it is accusative, it is nominative. This is why I am focusing on this. Also,
Rohit one.
yeah, yeah, question.
I was about to ask that because the plural in genitive is minus, but whereas here we write as like I was expecting it to be minor, so
Where,
that's why
where?
I just wanted to ask
This one?
for the genitive plural. Yeah.
Ah, it is air, it is air. It's my mistake. Thank you for pointing out. It's a mistake. I think we'll see this mistake in other
Okay.
speeches
Okay.
as well.
Fine.
Then. Yeah, it's no. Thank you very much for pointing out. See, the German language is very sophisticated. It follows logic. So it is minus, minus, minor, minor, and for thine, And also you should remember this, it's not that important for real life, but it's very important for exam. Whenever you have this plural in dative case, doesn't matter here, here, wherever, the noun, if it is not ending in n, you have to add the alphabet end. If I say I help the men, and I mean plural men, like men men, so ich helfe the men is the mena, so the, because it is plural I have to use den. In mena it is not ending in n, so I have to add the n extra over there. But if I say I help the woman, so it is the frauen, it is already ending in n, so I don't need to add an extra n. I think this is clear, right? So if you say na ich komme nach Hause, so after nach it is okay, not this one. The next one is also, so this was about plural dative. What about singular dative? Only for masculine neutrum, okay? Feminine, I don't know. This is the easiest one to remember, but masculine neutrum, whenever you have something like this in dative. Yeah, question. Akshay, you have a question? You raised your hand.
Actually, I do have. Actually,
Go ahead.
yeah. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, ask the question, please.
Hello. Am I audible?
You
You gave the example. You gave the example about regarding the verb. Am I right?
Yes.
I think there is a lag, so I will request you to
So
say your entire question and then I will answer.
you said ish help. Okay. You were giving the example about the dative verb, which is helfen. So you said that ish helfer the uh, what is the plural of man? It is mjolnir. Am I right?
So, okay. So there is a lag. I hope. So what I said is that, so it is their man. This is the mena, but because it is in dative case, you cannot use the. You have to use the in. This is what I said. Is it clear?
Okay, okay.
Right. So I
Yes,
said,
yes, yes.
yeah, right.
I thought you said the mjolnir.
Ah, no, 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 no. Yeah, I said it is the mena, but because it okay. Yeah. So say it one more time just to avoid confusion. Their man, the mena, but the mena is in dative case, so you cannot use the. You have to use then. Okay. And so more questions? Any questions, guys, please ask. What about these ones, masculine, neutrum, dative, singular cases? You have to add the alphabet E at the end. For example, you say, Ich komme nach Hause. House is actually house, das house. But you add E over here because it is after nach, and after nach, whatever is there, it is always dative, almost always dative. Ich komme nach Haus, ich komme nach Hause. Again, these two are very important for exams, but for real life you know them. It's not like, for example, many you learn this also do Duolingo, right? Ich bleib zu Hause, ich komme nach Hause. You never ask why it is Hause and why not house. So, and in this one, I don't know, I mean, this, like adding n at the end of a plural dative, see if you can do it. It's always good to speak something, do something as good as you can. See if you remember these rules, okay? But I don't think they are that important. Again, my teachers will, run. They will. I mean, my geometry will run after me with a hockey if she hears this is what I'm teaching. But again, I'm trying to. In an exam, I will cut your marks. If you say if you say den mena and not say den menan, but in real life, I will know what you're saying. But in exam, I will cut your marks. If I, let's say, if I'm taking an exam, so this is fine. Please fill this table for me for Unzer. I see RUP. I don't see the entire name. Do you want to try? I think it's Rupa or something else. Okay. Manoj, do you want to try? No problem. Chandu, do you want to try? Unza, fill this table for Unza, please.
I can give it a try.
Yeah. It's obvious, right? I mean,
Uh,
you just check, right? So the hint is all there for you.
Unser, Unsera,
Yeah,
and unser and unsere.
yeah.
For accusative, it's going to be unseren. No, it's going to be euer.
No, no, no. It is still Unzaran.
What a
It
nine.
is still
Nine,
Unzaran.
nine. It's unsere. Sorry,
Yeah.
I just got confused. Yeah, it's unseren, unsere, unser, and unsere. And for datu, it's going to be unserem, unserer, unserem, unseren. And for genitive, it's going to be unseres, unserer, uh, unser, isn't it? For the feminine,
No, it's Unzaran.
unseres, unser,
Feminine and plural it is Unzaran.
unserer.
Okay. Uh, Maybe
Okay.
this is because I'm not hearing clearly, but the when you say you are saying it like unsa, it's not unsa, it's unza. So difference is, if you take if you say, if you take your two fingers and just keep that, in that region of your neck where guys normally have this Adam's apple, guys have it, and if you say z, if it vibrates, then it is correct. If it is not vibrating, then it is not correct. One more hint, it is if you say is, right, for example, he is good, so that is sir. And if I say his good, for example, his bike, that is z. Is it clear what I'm saying? I think you know this, just trying to point it out. So it is Z and not Sir. Okay, unzer. Any questions, guys, please ask. Uh, so uh, this is the table. Again, guys, this is also you should know, So all you have to remember is that if you know the nominative one, right? Accusative only masculine changes and it ends up like N. In dative, M, R, N. Again, it's very easy. Uh, Thine is obvious. Thine. Akshay, do you want to try? Even if you know, if you practice, you will remember.
Sein,
Yeah.
sein, seine, sein, seine, seinen, seine, sein, seine, seinem,
Sainam.
seinem, sorry, seinem, seine, seinem, seinen, seines, seiner, seines, seiner.
Okay. Thank you very much. One hint, like for normal conversations, if I say kinda and if I say kinda, there is no difference. People don't pronounce the R part. So just telling in exam they will when you are speaking. I mean, I don't know what kind of the guy is there in the exam, but there is hardly no difference when you pronounce. So even this one is kinda. This one is also kinda. So I'm saying R, but you don't hear it. But in exam you have to be careful in writing. The most important one is so ear, it's the same, ear, but I is small, and for this ear, it will be capital I. It's obvious. Again, speaking, there is no difference. I mean, you don't say right capital ear, you just say ear. But this one is important. Why is it important? Is that so? This is oya, but when you say oira, in writing, this e will go away. Okay, I hope I'm not making a mistake. Please check. But from my understanding, this E is not there. Okay. So whenever there is something after this R, this E before R goes away. Okay. So it is EUREM, AURAM. Okay. Just remember this. Uh, let's talk about this one. Okay. So you understand all of these things. Okay. So these are the pronouns. And here in this table, you have the pronouns. Here you have the articles. Now you will learn how to use these articles as pronouns. So you have pronouns for people. You have pronouns are so these are called as personal pronoun. That is pronouns that you can use to describe people or persons. Here you have these articles. Now you will learn how to use pronouns for objects. Clear? What I'm trying to say is that here you have pronouns, to be more specific, pronouns for people. Here you will learn how to use these articles as pronouns. Why do you need that? We will understand in just some time. Can someone read this? Raga, can you read this like from like here, like first read this one, like wo este colega, wo este kolegin, and then go on, please. Don't think.
Wo ist der Kollege? Wo ist die Kollegin? Wo ist das Kind? Wo, wo sind die Kolleginnen?
Kolleginnen.
Akkusativ. Ich
Yeah.
rufe den Kollegen an. Ich rufe die Kollegin an. Ich hole das Kind ab. Ich hole das Kind ab. Ich rufe die Kolleginnen. Ich helfe dem Kollegen. Ich helfe der Kollegin. Ich helfe dem Kind. Ich helfe den Kolleginnen. Hier findet man den Preis des Laptops. Hier findet man die Daten der Firma. Hier findet man die Daten des Unternehmens. Hier findet man die Daten der Firmen.
Okay, I think it's obvious, right? When I say nominative masculine, it is their colleague, right? It is it is colleague is masculine. It happens to be in nominative case. Collegian happens to be feminine, and it happens to be here in in boy. One second, guys. There is a mistake. So masculine, nominative, feminine. Yeah. So it is collegian is feminine, and it is what have I written? So here masculine, and here it is nominative. Now it is correct. So collegian is feminine, and it finds itself in nominative case. For example, here there firma. Firma is there the or das, guys, like nominative. It is masculine, feminine, or it's
Die
always it is
Firma.
the female, right? But here we see their female because it is in genitive case. Okay. Why did I do this? So now let's say if I, quite often people, if I, let's say, let's say we are in a meeting. Okay. Let's say I am the client and you are the, how do you say, service provider. Okay. And in the meeting, from your side, three guys were supposed to come. Two of you showed up. One is not there in the meeting. Okay. And I can ask wo is their colleague, but I can just say wo is there. I don't have to say colleague. Okay. If the other, like that colleague happens to be a woman, I can just say wo is the colleague, wo is the. Now here the, even though it is an article, it now counts as a pronoun. Is it clear what I'm saying? So let's look at, let me go to
Yes.
slide. Yeah. So again, I have to change it over here. Masculine, nominative. Okay, so highlighting the important part. I think I'll have to do it here as well. Let me just do it right now. I think I'll have to change it everywhere. Okay, no, let's stay in this mode, slideshow mode. So, not like in this mode. So, voice the collega here. I have highlighted the important parts. Okay, so them collega, it's actually their collega, but it is dative. So them, and so them collega. Okay. Now I don't really have to say this, their colleague. If I, again, the context has to, if I, let's say, uh, let's say again, I am the client, you are the service provider, and I ask, wo is the Kollegin? Or I can just say, wo is the, and you can say, ich rufe die Kollegin an, or you can just say, ich rufe die an. I'm calling her. I'll just say, wo is the, where is she? And now you'll say, okay, why are you saying wo is the and not you are saying wo is z? You can also say wo is z, but this is why, how people also talk, wo is the, wo is there. Okay. So here it's a pronoun, not an article. I mean, so here it is still an article. Okay. Here it is still an article as long as you're using a noun. But the moment you stop using a noun, so the moment you stop using, yeah, now it is. So the moment you stop using a noun, so if you say wo is there, you don't say kolega. Okay. You don't have to say wo is there, wo is the, wo is das, wo sind die, ich rufe den, ich rufe die. Ich rufe den an, ich rufe die an, ich hole das ab. Of course, you can just say, ich rufe sie an, ich hole es ab, wo ist es? Okay. Ich rufe die, again. Now you will say, okay, what is the difference between, okay, I think we need an as well over here. So if I just say, if I just say, ich rufe die an, here, this one, And if I say ich rufe die an, this one over here, how will I know? Like, do you mean plural or feminine singular? Of course, context has to be important. Okay, so this is more important for like conversational. I think it is important for exam. They may ask you, but this is more important like for conversation. Daily life conversations. Ich helfe dem. You don't have to say kollega. You can say ich helfe ihm, but you can also say ich helfe dem. Okay, normally this will not be the first sentence of a conversation, right? So before you say ich helfe dem, there has to be some talk about this colleague. For example, you just don't say wo ist die Kollegin. For example, I am the customer and I will say wo ist die Kollegin, but before that you say that, okay, we have to wait for 5 minutes because our colleague, wir müssen 5 Minuten warten, weil unsere Kollegin also ein bisschen verspätet. Okay, then I will wait for 5 minutes, and now when I don't like my patience is getting over, I will say wo ist die, you know wo is the, because now if I say wo is the, context is important because already there has been some talk about this noun. If there is any confusion what I'm saying, please ask. Okay, this is very important. Okay, what I'm saying is that this will, so if you say wo is the without a noun, this will not be the first sentence of a conversation. Okay, because if I just say wo is the out of nowhere, people will wonder, okay, what is he talking about? Okay, so there has to be some talk about this noun for which we are not using before before you say something like this. Okay, uh, now let me go to slideshow mode. But so far it looks easy, right? So for nominative, accusative, dative, it looks the same. But over here, nominative, dative, plural. If you want to say ich helfe, so it was ich helfe den Kolleginnen. Okay, but if you don't want to use Kolleginnen, then you will have to say denen. Ich helfe denen. Okay, this is something new you have to remember. Okay, ich helfe denen. All right. Uh, let's look at this example, right? Let's say you are working in a company and your boss, let's say you of course you will have a boss or a supervisor, and there are two new students, who have joined the company to work on a part-time basis, and your boss is asking, for an update, how is it going with the boys, how is it going with the new girls or like new interns who have joined. You will say, yeah, I am helping them. I am helping them. So when you say I am helping them, you will say ich helfe denen. Okay, again you will say, okay, if you are saying them, then should you not say ich helfe ihnen? Of course you can say ihnen. Okay, but here when you say ich helfe denen Kollegen, it is implied that you are using denen as a pronoun. If it's confusing, please ask. And if you want to say hier findet man den Preis des laptops, but if you don't want to say laptops, you will say dessen. But normally when you have this genitive part, right? So when you have to use dessen instead of des, when you have to use deren instead of there, you don't really say this part. So how will you say hier findet man dessen Preis? Okay, you can say if you want hier findet man den Preis dessen, but you can just say hier findet man dessen Preis. Now you are wondering, okay, why do I need to learn this? Why do I need to learn this? So quite often you say, let's say, uh, for example, I'm a data engineer, right? And I'm saying like, yeah, their data is missing, and because there has already been some conversation about data of the client, I will say, yeah, deren data failed, deren Daten failed. Okay, so remember this here, dessen, deren. Okay, here denen. I know it's a little bit difficult to digest, but it becomes easier when we look at the examples. So now this one, so here it is unbestimmte Artikel, wo ist ein Kollege? Boy, I have to change this. Okay, so wo ist ein Kollege, wo ist eine Kollegin, wo ist ein Kind, plural of course does not exist when you use this article. Okay, now be careful. Okay, something we will do next. Let me just edit this so that it is clear. Okay, now be careful, guys. Okay, be careful. So, wo ist. Let me go to slideshow mode. Wo ist der? This was clear. Now I am using unbestimmte Artikel. Wo ist ein Kollege? Wo ist eine Kollegin? Wo ist ein Kind? I hope this is clear. Eines, einer, eines laptops. Now be careful when if I don't want to use the noun, if I don't want to use, again, this is just highlighting the important part, ein Kollege, eine Kollegin. Now, if I don't want to use the noun, if I only want to use the article, then the article will be considered as a pronoun. Plural exists now. You know what I'm saying? Plural will now exist. So, wo ist einer, wo ist einer, wo ist eines, da sind welche. So now, for example, if you say, like, if let's say we are going on a trip, and I ask, where are the snacks, and then you just point to my bag and you say, yeah, there are the snacks. Da sind snacks. But of course, when you say da sind snacks, you can say da sind these snacks. But if you want to use unbestimmte article, you cannot, right? Because does not, you cannot say eine. It's just da sind snacks. But if you don't want to say snacks, you can just say da sind welche. Ich bringe welche. Ich helfe welchen. Uh, for example, you are working on a new project in a company, and you know and then the question is like, is there some material available that you can use for the client in the first meeting, right? And you ask your boss about it, boss, do we have something? And your boss will say, yeah, we haben welche. We haben welche, that means we have some. Again, welche, I know it is a w word, but here it is an article. Sorry, it's a pronoun. Any questions about this, guys? Okay, so here you have to be careful with masculine nominative, careful with neutrum, nominative, and neutrum accusative. So you have to add s, or just s. Some people say ein, some people say eines. For example, if I say hast du ein Laptop, you will say, yeah, ich hab ein. You can say ich hab ein Laptop, or you can just say ich hab eins. Okay, you can just say ich hab eins. Hast du, for example, what do I say? Hast du snacks? Hast du snacks? You can say, yeah, ich habe snacks, or you can just say ich hab welche. Any questions about this? Remember this, okay? So you have to be careful. Hier findet man die Daten welche. Also, one thing I want to say, okay, let's continue, we'll talk about that exception later. So here is the complete table, guys, So we discussed, so you have there, the, das, the, den, the, das, the, them, their, denen. Okay, now these are not articles, these are pronouns. Okay, these are actually articles. I mean, they are articles in the form of pronouns, so they are actually pronouns. So here are the ones that you need to be careful about. I mean, almost everything remains the same, but this ones you have to be careful about. Okay, so I think, and now you are thinking, okay,
Isn't it dative,
where?
neutrum, them,
Uh,
dative, neutrum?
yeah, it's them. Yeah, careful. Yeah, thank you very much. So it is them. Okay, and this one, why is it s? Just think of it like this. If I say I have a laptop, and if I, let's say, laptop can be there or thus, if I just say ich hab ein, so ich hab ein laptop, okay, but if I remove the laptop out, there has to be something that conveys that laptop is neutrum, right? And thus is the article for neutrum. So you have to have s somewhere. This is why the endings are very important. Is it clear what I'm saying? you know so yeah, so remember these ones, guys. Okay, also, so neutrum, be careful. It is, you have to make it the ending sound like s, or s, I mean es, or just s. And plural, we did not have before, but now we have. It's very easy: welche, welche, welchen, welcher. Okay, denen, I think it's obvious. Also, what I want you to remember is that normally this one, so unbestimmte plural genitive, and negation plural genitive, we will never use. I mean, you may use, but I don't think you need this. So you will never, like in normal life, you will not encounter statements where you have to say this. Now you are thinking, Rohit, I'm not even going to use any of these. I know what you're thinking, but I mean, don't worry, I know this all seems complicated, but it is not. But in real life, you will encounter the others, but you will not encounter those, this one. You will not encounter Welcher, you will not encounter Kiner. You will encounter Deren. Okay, Deren laptop, Deren blah blah. Okay, so
Rohit, there is a little mistake in the
where?
previous slide with the dative neutral
Dativ, yeah, this one, right? Or
and also in the genitive.
genitive.
Also in the bottom one, I meant.
Ah, yes, thank you.
No, genitive is right. Yeah.
Okay, and here also, right? It's them. Now it's correct, right?
Yes.
Okay, so uh, what? Okay, so again, guys, so if for bestimmte, for unbestimmte, for negation, and similarly, you can derive for this possessive article. So, for example, mine will be minor, minor, minus, minor, or just mines, minen, minor, minus, or mines. Okay, minor. For oya will be eurer, eurer, eures. Okay, now it will be eures. You don't say eures. It just sounds weird, at least to the German guys I know. So it will be eures and not eures. Okay, here also it will be eures. Okay, eures, eurer, eurer, eures. Again, as I said, you don't need this thing. So all you have to do is, let's say if I say, if we are, let's say you and I are walking in a park, and I see a dog, and I say, ah, the dog is big, and then you will say, okay, not the good example, but let's say, uh, their Hund is gross, and their Hund gehört mir. Now, in the second sentence, you don't really need to say Hund again, because you have already said, what we are talking about. So if you say their Hund is gross and you say their gehört mir, I know what you mean there. You mean their Hund. So das Auto ist neu. Then again, you don't need to say das Auto ist teuer. You can just say das Auto ist neu, das ist teuer. Okay, is this what I mean? Like, so this article Wörter as pronouns will never be the first part of the conversation. There has to be something like preceding them to explain what they are. So can it's just I think you understand the task, right? Just read this sentence without the nouns. So don't read Blumen, don't read film. Anyone can read, like from here, the Blumen. Okay, Chandu, please go ahead if you don't mind.
Yeah. Die Blumen sind schon, die stehen auf dem Tisch. I'm just giving the answer. I hope
Yeah,
it's
yeah, go ahead.
fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Der Film ist interessant. Der dauert 2 Stunden. Das Buch ist spannend. Das liegt auf dem Regal. Die Wohnung ist klein. Die hat eine schöne Aussicht. Der Kaffee ist heiß. Der schmeckt gut. Das Mädchen ist freundlich. Das hat einen Hund.
Now, just one thing, okay? So, uh, as I said, so you will use the Wohnung, you will use the instead of the Wohnung, right? As long as, so you use this article words only, like there is no hard and fast rule, but this das Mädchen, right? Here in real life, you should say s, so you should, because there are already pronouns to describe human beings, right? So far you did not learn pronouns to describe non-human beings. You know what I'm saying? So if you say das hat einen Hund, you can say that, but why do you need to use an article as a pronoun for a human being? There is already a pronoun, right? So you will say es hat einen Hund. Is it clear what I'm saying? If there is any question, please ask. What I'm saying is that you remove the noun. Question? Okay. So
So it's only for persons. It becomes like RZS.
not really, not an hard and fast rule, but you can do it. There is no problem. For example, sometimes, let's say, let's say you and I are standing, let's say, somewhere in a city, and there is this guy who comes and he starts bothering us. And let's say, one of us is kind of aggressive and not like he's someone who is not. I mean, who doesn't like let people just say bad things to them. And let's say one of us starts arguing with the other person, then the other person will say, ignore him. That so ignoriere ihn, der sieht dumm aus. You know what I'm saying? You can use, you don't have to, is what I'm trying to say. You can use this article words as pronouns to describe people. You don't have to, but people do it. So you can say das hat einen Hund, or you can say es hat einen Hund. You can do it, you don't have to, is what I'm trying to say. Now, when to do it, when not to do it, this comes with practice. I really have no, like, I can look for rules online, but I don't want you to remember all the rules. When to use, when not to use, it's still fine. Okay. So if I please read this for me, you know, this all of these for me. So der Tisch ist rund, der steht in der Küche. Go ahead. Let's see. Akshay, do you want to read? Okay.
Der Tisch
That
ist
is
rund, der steht in der Küche.
Not
Der
Küche.
Film ist
Okay.
langweilig.
Depending on where you live, I
Die
don't know. Maybe they say K, but it is Sh. Küche. Okay.
Küche.
Yeah.
Okay. Der Film ist langweilig. Der hat schlechte Kritiken. Die Blumen sind frisch. Die stehen auf dem Fensterbrett.
I think
Das
we
Buch ist
faster mark.
interessant.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Das Buch ist interessant. Das liegt auf dem Schreibtisch. Die Lampe ist kaputt. Die war sehr teuer. Der Mann ist freundlich. Der hat mir geholfen.
So stop.
Die Pizza
Here.
ist lecker.
Stop. Stop. So der Mann ist freundlich. Der hat mir geholfen. Here I will not use er. Don't ask me why.
Okay.
Please mute
Okay.
yourself Akshay, for just a few seconds. Okay. So here, I think Chandu, right? You were asking. So here, der Mann ist freundlich. Der hat mir geholfen. Here, I will not use er. If you ask me why, I really have no answer for you. I just know it by experience. This is how, again, different people have different ways of talking. If you use er, there is nothing wrong. But at least in my social circle, I will use there instead of er. Okay. I think this makes sense. So please continue reading, Akshay, the last two ones.
Die Pizza ist lecker. Die kommt aus Italien. Die Jacke ist warm. Die kostet viel Geld.
Okay. So, yeah, I think I highlighted this. So I think this was the from the before. Now, let's see. So, er hat einen Bericht, der ist wichtig. Okay. Now here you see there is something happening. I say er hat einen Bericht. Let's say you and I are spies. And we are talking about a potential person, a scientist. And I'm telling he has a report, and that report, the report is really important, and we want to steal this. Again, just trying to like fiction. Okay. So er hat einen Bericht, der ist sehr wichtig. Is it clear what I'm saying? So er hat einen Bericht. I don't need to say der Bericht. I can just say er hat einen Bericht, der ist sehr wichtig. Okay. I don't think these examples are correct. Let's go for these examples. So please read this and just tell me. Okay. Raga, you can go for this one. In the second sentence, you don't need to read the noun wherever you think it is not necessary. So er hat eine Aufgabe, die macht Spaß. He has a task. It is fun for him.
Wir bekommen ein Projekt.
Wir beginnen.
Wir beginnen das Morgen.
Correct.
Das ist die Idee des Teams. Wir arbeiten an der. Ich denke an meine Präsentation. Ähm, das ist der für die Präsentation. Das ist das Büro der Abteilung. Das ist modern. Wir träumen von der Beförderung, die, die auf die Beförderung ist motivierend.
So again, just like, try to use logic. Okay, so you said wir träumen von der Beförderung. Then you said die auf die Beförderung ist motivierend. So you skipped the noun for Aussicht, but you did not discuss anything about Aussicht, right? In the previous sentence, you mentioned Beförderung, so you cannot use Aussicht. You can use Beförderung. Yes,
Ja, die
right?
Aussicht auf die ist motivierend.
Okay, but even now we both are wrong. Okay, now why we are wrong? So this is what you can do. So uh, let's say uh, er hat eine Aufgabe, die Aufgabe macht Spaß. And let's say before we say this, there is this invisible statement that is I have already written, and that talks about this project. There is a project, es gibt ein Projekt, wir bekommen eines. You know what I'm trying to say? There was nothing wrong in what you said. I'm just saying, like, if there was already discussion about this project, and we can say wir bekommen eines. Das ist die Idee dessen. Now I said, uh, I think the example is not explained correctly. So I'm saying that whatever you say over here, let's assume that uh, the object of this sentence has already been discussed. For example, we already talked about tasks. For example, I'm your boss and you are my junior, and I say, what about the students? What about the tasks? Was ist mit den Aufgaben? You'll say, yeah, er hat eine Aufgabe, or er hat eine. You know, and I say, what about projects? Right? Are you still on bench? You'll say, no, no, no. Wir bekommen eines, because project has already been discussed. Only 2 minutes are left, guys. I will talk about this. I think even this is not correct. So it should be via arbeiten daran, because an deren is not efficient. You can say an deren, but it is not correct. We'll continue talking about this. This is very important in the next session. Let's come back here, right? If you say wir arbeiten an deren Idee, you don't really have to, because you can just say wir arbeiten daran. We discussed this, like da, like we darauf. Okay, I think we will not cover this. So if you have any questions so far, please ask. We'll continue discussing this in the next session. Okay, if you have any questions, please ask. So let's see if there are no questions. What I'm trying to say is that if you say wir arbeiten an der Idee, okay, now if you don't want to say Idee, you will say deren, right? But there is a better way of saying this. You can just say wir arbeiten daran, because an etwas arbeiten is a verb, right? An etwas dativ arbeiten. So wir arbeiten daran. Das ist der Plan für die Präsentation. You want to skip Präsentation, so you will say das ist der Plan für die. But you have a better way of saying. You can just say das ist der Plan dafür. That is the plan for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the call will end, guys. Thank you for joining. I think it's just 10 seconds left. Thank you again for joining. I hope you have a nice evening. We'll continue talking about this in the next session on Wednesday. Yeah, the call will end in 10 seconds.
Thank you.
Most welcome.